hello. So, it's been a while, people. Happy Emancipation. We're doing it early. Early celebration. Everybody's feeling. Everybody's feeling. Feeling. So make sure you'll share this live. We're going to have a nice little discussion
Ah,
about
so what is it?
emancipation.
That is the topic, emancipation. About
Are
rock
we
back a little
talking
bit
about
here.
what else again we going to be talking about today?
So
What
the topic for today
emancipation?
is emancipation.
Yeah.
Huh.
And the question is, what does it mean to be free? Because
Right,
emancipation is about the freedom now.
right. It's long time I ain't see Chica. Only long time I ain't see Chica here at all. Long time. Long time. So again, emancipation means, I mean, it have different meanings for different people. Chica, what it mean to you? What it mean to you?
Hmm. It may mean so many different things, to be honest. Um, for me, well, one, of course, word that comes to my head immediately as I hear emancipation, it is about, freedom and, knowing where our ancestors came from and, making sure that we are here today. Good afternoon to you, right? So today, because I mean, if it is we weren't enslaved, then it wouldn't have a need for emancipation.
Correct.
So it is that I don't really want to use the word transition, but I will use it in terms of a transition or this new beginning where if it is we say that we are emancipated, meaning that we are free, then each day we should see it as, having new opportunities,
Right.
having hope for the future. Because when persons are enslaved, it seems like there's no hope whatsoever. Hi, Charlene.
Just Charlene. Charlene, what's up, girl? What does emancipation mean to you, Charlene, as we have in Charlene on the live here? Let us know. Yeah?
Yeah, seeing inside finale here.
Mhm.
I see that I don't know if finale using Charlene
Well,
profile
well, it always go.
to
What
maybe
does
share the share.
all right, so I mean, emancipation, what does it mean to you guys? Please in the comment section, what does emancipation really mean? Coming up into this celebration time. We like to celebrate and dress up. Chica, do we take more pride in dressing up for Emancipation Day as opposed to understanding why that day exists? Yeah, let me know.
I think that will be based on each person because there are persons who throughout the year they celebrate their African pride. Some persons, yes, of course, for Emancipation Day, it's all about dressing up and looking, they want to look as great as possible for persons to know, hey, we've made it this far. But it is important that we don't wait until Emancipation Day then to put on the prints or to acknowledge where our ancestors came from, where we have come from, right? Because it has been a very long journey. We didn't go through the journey, right? But our forefathers did go through that long journey, right? So it is, so to be written, emancipation is freedom of slavery, right? So yes, persons have become free from slavery. Finally, is for me, emancipation means the start of the first step towards freedom. but it's also a day of remembrance. And that is true. So that is remembering the day that slavery was abolished. And I always say look at where the day fall, the day of celebrating Emancipation Day, fall. It is in this time. But it's very important that throughout the year we remember. We don't want to wait for one day to remember that we had it's like a rebirth. When our birthdays come around, sometimes people will just really remember you for your birthday and might call and say happy birthday. We want to remember just as we don't want to wait till our birthday to be thankful for life. We don't want to wait until Emancipation Day to celebrate being free. And and when I ask everyone, what does it mean to be free for you all? Because if it says you're saying, okay, I'm free, but on a daily basis, you are feeling sad all the time. You're only complaining. This morning I heard a lady complaining, and I'm like, oh gosh, it's too early. Why are you complaining so early in the morning for something so simple, right? It was like we need to appreciate life. We didn't want to be here, so we need to appreciate having life. And emancipation also means that we have hope. I believe it also means that we have hope as well. Yeah.
And when we hear the word emancipation, sometimes even the meaning of the word kind of eludes us because the first thing we jump to is like freedom. You know what I mean? First word is freedom, but then we have to ask ourselves like freedom from what? Freedom from who? Why we need to be free? And I think those questions are seldom asked or seldom answered because we still in that mind frame, you know. So Chica, like when we say freedom, freedom from what type of mentality? Because we love to quote, emancipate yourself from mental slavery.
Yes, yes. That is a famous thing.
Oh,
Mental. And I mean, like it's true, it's a famous quote, and
yeah,
and some person maybe don't even understand that quote. They just emancipate yourself from mental slavery. And when it is recognized that people don't understand that quote, you will see by their actions, they really don't understand what it means to be free from mental slavery. Yeah, they really don't understand. So the mental, sometimes what people might call mentality. Let's
yeah,
just put it over mentality. Some persons have a very negative mentality. Everything that they think, every thought that they have is
yeah,
negative. Nothing positive at all. So when they think, hmm, they complain, simple about the weather. Let's make us start with that. Complaining about the weather. They complain is somewhere hurting. They complain that somebody is sick. Well, they are sick, right? Mental, they're not going to get through. Hi, Sonali. I know.
Hi, good day, good day.
Hi, hi. Right. So some persons, their mental is very, very off. Everything is a sad story. Everything is just down and off. And we need to be positive. We need to say, we're gonna get this done, right? And people even have this thing of hatred, you don't want to be having one sort of hate in your heart and you're holding on to things of the past that wasn't positive and it's eating away at you. So you want to free yourself from what they might say baggage, for a heavy load, right? You don't want to be carrying things that would have hurt you in the past. Even that means being free mentally. So it's good for when it says you think negative, it affects your body as well, right? So sometimes we forget that it is not just our mind one way and our body one way. Everything is in sync, and our thoughts affect our physical. Yeah. So we want to remember. So all of you who are joining us now on the live, feel free to put in the comment section what emancipation means to you and what does it mean to be free. Personally, what you'll say, as Stella was saying just now, everybody likes to quote emancipate yourself from mental slavery. So that quote, are you one person who like will use that quote kind of often and what it means to you?
Well, huh. Well, thanks to Bob Marley for giving us that song, but honestly and truly, I just take it exactly as how the words say to, because we know emancipate is to release from. That's basically what the word is. But sometimes people keep their thoughts in such a vibration that it traps them in that setting right there. Because, like I said earlier, some people quarreling, they arguing, they upset about the simplest of stuff that shouldn't even be trivial. And honestly, and truly, it shouldn't even be classed as trivial whatsoever. But because their thoughts hold them in that moment right there, they trap. It's a simple trap because there was Monday morning they will have that vibration. Tuesday morning, same vibration. Wednesday there might be a slight change, but they're right back at it by Wednesday afternoon. And it continues to the week. And before you know it, within a month, within a year, it continues. And then after that's what people know you for, that constant thought process. So when they tell people say, you don't change at all, some people should really look at that with a scale, really and truly. Like, I ain't change at all, because that could be for good, that could be for bad. And that's the mentality of some people.
Yes. And change is something, well, in terms of changing for the better, some persons don't like change. And that's what I was saying like yesterday. Some people don't like change. And most times I believe change, I don't know, I might be wrong, but I believe most time when it says they're going to make a change, it is really for the better. Something is happening in the environment and there's a change. It means that there's going to be some sort of transformation, some sort of rebirth. So change. If the caterpillar remain a caterpillar, then we wouldn't see a beautiful butterfly.
So we are Sonali backstage. Sonali, check your private messages, right? So, I mean, when we really want to focus on becoming a better like people, there's always a problem when we're talking about African pride. Why you think there's always every time we about to talk about African pride, loving our hair, loving our skin. Why there's always some kind of pushback? If you don't think sometimes there's a pushback, and when I mean pushback, we're talking like from like primary school days, like when you had to go to school, you're always hearing the saying you're late for school here. You know what I mean? Or you start to go to work, they want you to, as a female, they might want you to straighten your hair because the kinky hair is a problem.
Yeah,
Why?
they say it's
Why? Yes.
unmanageable.
Mm-hmm.
They'll call it hard hair, or even some persons that, of course, we know everybody based on genetics, for whatever reason, their hair may not be as long as others, so they call it picky. If they're going to be very short, but they call it picky anyway.
Yeah.
Um, so, and then, of course, they call it black, and they make it seem as
Mm-hmm.
something is wrong with the color black. So we are not, we are not black like the color black, but that is what, and for whatever reason, black has always been seen as a bad color. Like why? Why is
Mm-hmm.
what is so wrong? And black is actually means power, right? Black is a powerful, a very powerful color. So nothing is wrong with being black. And they make you seem as if it is the color of his skin is inferior. It's like it's dirty, basically. They like seem as if the color of his skin dirty. So when it is people like I just say here, it might whether they find it hard, they find it picky, it is unmanageable, all of a sudden it can't home or it's nappy, right?
Yeah.
And we have to appreciate who we are. If it is we don't accept, ourselves, then we can't expect anybody else to accept us. So I truly believe it begins with us. And as parents, adults, caregivers, persons who belong to the, of African descent, we need to embrace our
Yeah.
heritage, embrace our culture, embrace our genetics,
Yeah.
right? We have to embrace it. If it is we don't embrace it and we don't show that hey, we have African pride, we love our natural self, then who is anybody else to appreciate it or embrace it? We have to
Yeah. I
first
think.
embrace it.
Yeah. And I think it's now modern and common for our African ladies, to now quickly lean to that false here, false I don't have a meme going around with the Prime Minister, but I mean, our African ladies now are very much happy with bleaching the skin and not really embracing the melanin, you know. So I think we need to. I mean, even though the ladies did this, dress up nice for the emancipation celebration,
Yeah.
but are we really truly emancipated? So you gotta take a break, and when we come back, you gotta take a little break, and when we come back, she can go and tell all about something that's happening on the 14th. So you taking a little break and come again. You know the thing go.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Bawani Prasad, President of PAVI, Persons Associated with Visual Impairment, pleading with you to come and support our Boat Ride initiative in association with BTG. It is our first joint fundraising initiative. Date Saturday 14th October. Time 3 to 7 p.m. Boarding from San Fernando. Walk with your coolers, but not oversized coolers. Cost of tickets $250 per individual ticket. There are group specials for 10 tickets and for 5 tickets. And that information you will have to get upon purchasing these tickets. All proceeds from this event will go towards assisting both organizations with their respective initiatives. In the case of PAVI, we have been providing rehabilitation adjustment to blindness services for blind and visually impaired persons since our inception in 1995. Hundreds have benefited from that initiative, and there is still a waiting list for others to benefit. We cater for persons who are losing sight or who have lost sight within recent times, to give them the necessary skills so that they can continue living as near normal a life as possible. For we believe that blindness is not the end of the world, but once you become blind, it is the beginning of a new phase, a new chapter of life. We also work with families to counsel them, to encourage them, to allow you to be as independent as possible. Let's all do this together. Come on, join us. Share it with your friends. Share it with your neighbors. And please, hoping to see all of you on October 14th at our first boat cruise in association with BTG. Thank you.
Hi, so everyone, we are back. And yeah, what? As we talking about freedom, you are free to join us on Saturday, 14th of October. What we are doing, we are collaborating with persons associated with visual impairment for our first charity cooler cruise. And the name of it is Vision, right? So you must have some meaning behind things. Yeah, anything that you're doing, you want to have a positive energy and positive meaning behind it, right? So this charity cooler cruise is in celebration of World Side Day, which is actually on the 12th of October this year, which falls on a Thursday. But we ain't gonna be cruising on a Thursday because it's work, right? So you can feel free to contact us at 3468730 for your tickets. Right now we have early bird tickets. Regular price is $250. But right now, until August 31st, which is Independence Day, that will be the last day to purchase your early bird tickets. So get at us as early as you can for your early bird ticket. If it is you want to pay the full price and you want to make a little down payment, that is alright. Whatever works best for you, but you don't want to miss this charity cooler cruise. Remember, we are doing this for persons with visual impairment. In addition to that, and contributing to health and fitness because that's what we are about as well. So we contributing towards persons with disabilities, mostly persons with visual impairments, and of course towards persons' health and well-being because we do a lot of pro bono work as well, right? So we'll be on the liquid launch. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. We're gonna have free jello shots as well. That will be done by Shanaka. She's the jello shot person. So look out when I get a jello shot from that gift. It is feels very, very nice. Right? So don't miss it. Get your early bird ticket. Right? And you would have heard from Mr. Bawani just now. He's the president of Savi. And he too is endorsing this thing, right? Because we do
I
it
just
high research.
I just hope the chemist inside. I want to talk to the
Yes,
chemist.
she
That
is
is who I
inside.
focus on. I want to know about the
She
free
is
jello shot
inside.
something.
She is
Uh,
inside with organizing the jello shots. We don't talk about that already.
very focused on the jello shots. And I mean, yes, Kavir, everything is nice. Are doing well today. Are doing well today. Hmm. Yeah. So the topic is emancipation. And I mean,
So all who
the
want me
topic.
inside, on the outside, let us know if you ever attended one of the emancipation walks in Port. Are you planning to ever take a parade in Port of Spain on Emancipation Day? It has been nice.
So again, yeah, because I mean, it's good that people come out and really profess, because it's like a procession. But I mean, we would call it a parade. But it's nice that people come out and express the different vibrations that African culture have. Because sometimes you'll see some Bobo shanties, you'll see spiritual Baptists, you'll see Shango. So I mean, it's different
Eastern Orthodox.
aspects.
Yeah.
Yeah, different aspects of the thing.
And
So
something, Lion, on like that day, as you mentioned, and embracing. So some persons may say they embrace their African culture every day because based on, let's say, the religion that they choose to follow,
yeah,
right? That would be one aspect of your African pride, right? Because
correct.
the baseline of it is African originated, right? So
Yep.
um a lot of persons they do so it won't be the wait until the emancipation day to show that the what they say they come from Africa, right? Some persons are involved in, ensuring that they learn, whether it be dances or they learn an African language so that they can, whether it be Yoruba, Igbo, right? So they learn it so that, they can, interact and feel is really be a energy, yeah? It is be a
Yeah.
different energy. When they hear the drum, the shak shak,
Yeah.
right?
So, so it's really important that we really focus on loving ourselves again. I think it's a lot of self hate. Well, they taught us to like hate ourselves, or hair, or skin, or even our,
Even if some people lips too.
yeah, the lips, the nose, our
Yeah.
history. And I don't think we were
Hmm.
even. I don't think that we were really allowed to learn about our history. I don't think we was privy to learning about our history. And I think that is what is keeping us from, you know, accepting, because I think we were more westernized as opposed to learning about our African heritage.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to ask a question. Sir Ali, you could comment because we get some problems with your feed too. So I want to ask a question. Do you think that African families are being encouraged to stay together? Chika, why you touch base? I know you're dealing with social work and the importance of family, the importance of a family. Is it being overlooked? Is it being swept under the carpet? And especially in African families, because most of the time we see in African families, our African women pride in themselves with saying they're single mother, single father, single parent. But I don't see other ethnic backgrounds priding themselves with the destruction of the family. Even other ethnic backgrounds happy to see that their family has been made separate, and now I'm just a single mother or a single, and they glorifying, being a single parent. So touch on the family and how important it is, for African families. It's an interesting topic, like
All right. So Lion is asking about the African family, right? So what it says, like anybody who did sociology and who really went on to learn a bit more about African families in particular, you would see that they encourage a more matriarchal home. So what will happen is that even before I even dreamed to born, right? It would have been what they would have done is the men they will start one family, and then they may go out to work, they may be sent out on some other plantation, and then they may create another family, right? And since then, it has been encouraged for African families to not really have that nuclear, as they will call it, nuclear family unit where both, mother and father are in the home, right? And yes, right now you are seeing a lot of black women, saying that, what, I could do it on my own. I see my mother do it on her own, right? And instead of seeing that as, something that a cycle that we should break, it is seen as the norm. And it really shouldn't be the norm because, we really need to stick together and understand that the male figure, the father role is very important in the lives not only of the boy child or the male child, but also the female child. That relationship is very, very important. So I want to encourage all African mothers to not say, I can't be with a man. I ain't have no time for you right now. I could do this on my own. I see my no, we don't want to have that type of that mentality. We want to free ourselves from that. We want to be so free that we could say, yes, African king, you love your African man, right? Know that he is that king, right? And not say he's a good for nothing. And these negative things that he may say, right? So you want to even speak positivity into your child's father, the person that they came together with to have that offspring. Because if the man was not how it went, right? So it is very important for us as women to understand the father role, the male role. We cannot take up that role. We cannot. They might feel as if they can, but they really, really cannot, right? And even now, we have African women who were affected by their father not being in their lives. They may not, it's only later on then they may talk about how it has affected them negatively, right? That they didn't have a male figure in their life. So you want to ensure that everybody understands the role and function of the father role in the African home, right? And we really, really need to get a hold of ourselves and appreciate our men, thank our men, because they have a different strength as well, right? So, yes, African women, we're not denying that we are strong, but our African men are also strong, right? They bring a different type of strength to the table. Yeah. So for those of you all who are joining us, we starting this today celebrating emancipation, right? And the main thing, a lot of people like to quote out there, Bob Marley, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. So you really want to think about what are some of the thoughts you really have on a day-to-day basis. And are those thoughts positive or negative? And if it is a having negative thoughts, you want to be free from those negative.
The same Kavir is saying a family that prays together stays together. Big up Kavir on the inside, man. Yeah. And I think the family unit is what is needed. And when we say family, is granny, is auntie, is uncle. You
Mm-hmm.
know? I
And the
think that
village.
yeah. And what things tend to happen is that as soon as back in the day, when it is you're coming of age and you're looking for your little boyfriend and girlfriend, we used to get the saying, when you're turning your own key, right? Wait till you're turning your own key before you could, whatever girl or boy. And I think that family not understanding the different phases of where the young people are tend to push, the son or the daughter away from the family. And then they may try to start a family without the correct guidance and oversight because it is new. Yeah. Right. So again, sometimes we really, really try to we actually push our children away from us, especially when they're coming of a particular age. And the other different families kind of keep everybody together. So everybody's like one still. You might go to your mom for a little advice when you and the guy not seeing eye to eye, and we try to keep the family together as opposed of just when you turn your own key, you find a woman. When you turn in your own key, then you find a man. And then we go out into the world clueless, And when we're supposed to get the little guidance for relationships from the elders, we have no elders because we kind of like excommunicated. So I think
Yeah.
when I say family, sometimes you only think family is based upon just when you're a certain age, like baby, But it still is there. when it is, you start to have your own family, and we have to get back that culture. That is our emancipation in itself, because we excommunicate our children as soon as they begin to, seek out companionship. Let me comment section, the comment section saying there.
I would say today's society refuses to keep the family together. So
Yeah.
everything is a divorce or separation. So she's agreeing what she
Instant.
says so true. It's because many believe that the child or children would be as they were when growing up, not understanding that they would have their own experience.
Yeah, and we really tend to push our children away when we're supposed to be fostering the expansion of the family. And then what happens is sometimes, the parent not approving of the person. And then if something bad happens, the first thing they say is, "Ain't I did tell you not to go there? Look here, leave and go." You know? So, we need to knit that culture back together with great grand and grand, and we have to, so that the knowledge could be passed on through the bloodline. Yeah. So let's stop making Emancipation Day as a fashion up. Now there's Instagram and Facebook and all these things, and now it becomes a photo op as opposed to we cultivating a different. Where's your view on that, Chica? I know
Well, my thing is, at least for the most part, um, a lot of African persons they do wear the African garb throughout the year. They do attend cultural shows. Um, so I believe it's based on one the home that you grew up in as well, and then when you become older to make your own decisions, you decide whether it be a photo op and you decide whether it is you're gonna embrace your African culture. So Charlene is saying all who don't hear go here. So many of us grew up with that.
yeah, yeah. All who do I know, I think it's all who don't hear the feel.
But
They like to
I
use
know some
that.
people that really stay here double L, they really say, well, really here. So the thing about it is, not everyone does, I feel like, I really think that maybe, yes, it is, they may not have embraced their full natural use, because we know it's a
Hmm.
full relaxing hair and the different things. But there are persons, even though they may have relaxed their hair, they still attend, and they whether they learn African dance, they try to get at least a little snip of the culture, right? Throughout the year. So sometimes it's not the same people who going out all the time, going out on Emancipation Day, for the celebrations, those are the ones who throughout the year they embrace the African culture. You just might see it a little bit more. It might have the little extras, and then that is the
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
as a matter of fact, that is the time of the year that they put lights or they shed lights on. So maybe that is why we maybe it is maybe look as a photo up on Emancipation Day, because that's the day that it's being celebrated for that particular thing. But I really truly believe that it may not be as where we want it to be right now, but we are making some steps. So was it not just being Emancipation Day photo? Yeah.
Interesting. And don't forget the music. Don't forget the music. And the dance. That's good.
Yeah. Very, very powerful vibration.
Yeah, for real, for real, for real. Um, so on the 14th, we're going on, and on the 14th, we're running a little heavy. You know how it go?
And I
Pavi in
tell you that's
collaboration with
free.
BTG.
To get the
Yeah,
early
yeah,
bird tickets. Free when we say free.
yeah, yeah. Not
Freedom.
free, not free, but
Yeah, freedom. When free to purchase early bird tickets as early as you will be possible.
Yeah, I mean, I would see when I was going to primary school. That's a long time ago, man. That's so long. That's so long. Right? I would see that. I'm being honest. I would see that being African was kind of looked down upon, and technically, people used to make you feel less of a person because you was African. Like when like test time and exam time, they used to, highlight a certain class or a certain race. And literally, even persons of our race used to actually talk down about our own race. If somebody, if it had any violence in the community, they used to call a particular race. If it was about money, they used to call a particular race. Anything negative, they always used to call a particular race. And after a while, you begin to feel that your race is inferior. And I think we need to be proud of our race again. So again, I love everybody. 75% of my family is East Indian. Right? So being a Trinidad, a Trinbagonian, we mix all how, but again, we need to love our race again. And I have no issues with any other race. I love everybody. But at the end of the day, pride in our race is what we need to rekindle, regardless of dress code, going to a cultural show is one thing. But having pride is a difference. Having that pride in yourself, you don't need a cultural show. Being proud of who you are and the melanin in your skin is something we need to be proud about again in the comment section. Yeah.
All right, so here that Charlene must brought up, to love her ancestral heritage, and that is important. Sometimes, some parents, some families, they don't encourage their offspring then to love their ancestral heritage. Some didn't grow up like that, right? So, Charlene, you're very fortunate to have that experience, and all those who have,
Very,
you all are very
yeah,
fortunate because it starts at home, it really starts at home.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, from something as simple as being a child. Let's say, you're a young lady and you have to comb your hair to go to school, and that's all you hearing when you're here, being pulled, using that rat tail comb. All who know what that is, right? The party here, and it is a mental slavery has been brought on by some of our parents, and we have to unlearn some of the words that were spoken over us. We have to unlearn some of the things. Even some of the slurs. That was used even by our family members that we need to get out of our mouths and our systems. Yeah, this was nice. Long time we had talk and thing.
Yes, it's a while, it's a while.
It's
But
all
don't
right. It's all
forget, and
right.
it could even, you can get topped up, even though it's a holiday tomorrow, you can get topped up anyway, anytime,
See
right?
this girl
And,
here?
look out,
Yes,
look
you
out,
can.
look out, look out for the special segment.
You're getting with the goods, man.
Well, I just say that,
Yeah.
so look out. Special today, it is, special
Yeah.
segment. Yes, and remember to also get your early bird tickets for Vision, our first charity school update.
Yes, and big up the team.
Yes, so we want to thank everybody who has contributed to the development of Blinky Global Limited. So of course Lion will say, well, thanks to Lion, thanks to himself. Right. So I thank Lion, right? Thanks to Sonali. And we have a whole, a whole, other team of people that, come together and really contribute and support the events and whether it be the food. So we have Andy. Andy does try not to miss a thing. He don't miss a beat, right? We have Tero, we have Z, we have Brittany. I don't know if Brittany was ever alive, but Brittany is another person who does not be outside, right? Everybody's supporting in their own way. We learn, right? So we have, different people, different things, whether it be the top up, whether it be workouts, whether it be meals and treats, crack what everybody names. So everybody who have supported us thus far, we want to thank you. We want to thank you really and truly for being a part of the Burn Team family. Yes. And as I said, free jello shot, courtesy Shanaka 3C1 who making it. You're here lying saying there is 10, right? So we shouting out everybody, right? We shouting you out, we thanking you for, being a part of the team. Right? So don't miss out. The Kula Cruise will be nice on the 14th of October, and we look forward to having a nice time. It is an inclusive event, meaning that it's not just we are also including persons with disabilities as well, right? So come out and really support. They are a part of our society as well. And we don't know what could happen to any one of us in the future, or to someone who is very close to us, you just don't know, right? So you want to make sure and be a part of something positive. Understand? I was being positive. So I know it's back in a while.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Bawani Prasad, President of PAVI, Persons Associated with Visual Impairment, pleading with you to come and support our Boat Ride initiative in association with BTG. It is our first joint fundraising initiative. Date Saturday 14th October. Time 3 to 7 p.m. Boarding from San Fernando. Walk with your coolers, but not oversized coolers. Cost of tickets $250 per individual ticket. There are group specials for 10 tickets and for 5 tickets. And that information you will have to get upon purchasing these tickets. All proceeds from this event will go towards assisting both organizations with their respective initiatives. In the case of PAVI, we have been providing rehabilitation adjustment to blindness services for blind and visually impaired persons since our inception in 1995. Hundreds have benefited from that initiative, and there is still a waiting list for others to benefit. We cater for persons who are losing sight or who have lost sight within recent times, to give them the necessary skills so that they can continue living as near normal a life as possible. For we believe that blindness is not the end of the world, but once you become blind, it is the beginning of a new phase, a new chapter of life. We also work with families to counsel them, to encourage them, to allow you to be as independent as possible. Let's all do this together. Come on, join us. Share it with your friends. Share it with your neighbors. And please, hoping to see all of you on October 14th at our first boat cruise in association with BTG. Thank you.
Yes, people, so we're back on the inside. So you all heard it. Saturday, 14th October, we are on the Liquid Launch, boarding at 4 p.m., sailing at 5 p.m. Early bird tickets available at $200. This is valid until August 31st, which is Independence Day. So, go back out, Get your early bird. So you see, Shani saying, while growing up, the amount of time she had that her hair too thick and long, it needs to straighten.
Yeah, yeah. We went through the stress and the strain. Yeah, so people, you know, the thing said, make sure and get your early bird tickets. It's been a while. So we out this time. Yeah? Chica can wave and thing. You wave it. You wave it up. You see Chica long time, boy. Yeah, we out.
Already, it's Pavi in collaboration with BTG. We present to you Vision, a charity cooler cruise, Saturday, 14th October. So come cruise with your girl on the Liquid Lounge. We boarding at 4 p.m. And if you want tickets, hit me up at 346-8730 because we're gonna be outside.
Braga!